So a lot of times when you start learning Spanish, you are told that ser is used for permanent and estar for temporary. But that's not really how it works. In reality, ser is used more for like defining characteristics of things or people, and then estar is used for like a status or a state or a condition. It doesn't matter if the defining characteristics are not permanent, and it doesn't matter if a state or a status is permanent. Still, for defining characteristics of things and people, we'll use ser, and for a status or a condition or a state, we'll use estar. And then for location, which is like a separate category, we always use estar in Spanish. So when someone or something is in some place or on some place or at some place, that's always estar. So ser, identity and status, condition, location. Well, before we look at ser, we could say, this is basically what I just said, we could say that we use ser with permanent attributes and professions and estar with non-permanent attributes and location. But it would be better to say that ser implies identity, while estar implies status or condition, and then also for location we use estar. So here's how it works. We use ser for personal characteristics. It doesn't matter that they are physical or non-physical, and defining characteristics of things or people. For saying that the dog is big, that's a defining characteristic. It is a big dog. For saying that your uncle is very tall, same thing, it's a defining characteristic. The house is red. Can't we paint it blue? Yes, we can paint it blue, but right now the house is red, and being red is a defining characteristic of the house. So we say, la casa es roja. My daughter is very nice. Mi hija es muy simpática. That's also a defining characteristic. For professions, we generally use ser. Even if they may not always be permanent, professions are considered to be part of people's identity. We say, like, people say, I am a lawyer. That's like their identity. So Pedro is dependiente. Pedro es dependiente. Like Pedro is a salesperson. Mi hermano es estudiante en NYU. Yo no soy cocinero, soy cantante. We'll always use ser for professions. And then estar. For people's feelings or for condition, status of things or people, we generally use ser. For being tired, that's a state. We can say, I'm always tired. It doesn't matter, it's still a state. So we'll use estar. My father is very tired. Mi padre está muy cansado. She is sad. Ella está triste. I am worried. Estoy preocupado. And then for location, in Spanish, we always use estar. In other Romance languages, this is not always the case, but in Spanish, for location, it's just estar. So even if it's a permanent location, we can say, I am in New York right now or always, it doesn't matter. Yo estoy en Nueva York. Mi tío siempre está en su casa. My uncle is always in his house. And then the White House is in DC. That's pretty permanent. They are not moving the White House to a different state or to a different city. We still use estar. La Casa Blanca está en Washington, D.C. However, with some specific attributes, we can choose to use either ser or estar depending on what we mean. And it kind of gets tricky in here. Feliz, for example, can be used with ser or with estar, and it means different things. So, María está feliz, it means she's happy now. We are making it a condition or a status. But María es feliz means being happy is part of her identity. She is a happy person. We're making it a defining trait. So feliz can be used with ser or estar. She's happy, ella es feliz, meaning it's part of her identity, or ella está feliz, meaning it's a status that she has right now. This is commonly done with some adjectives, with feliz, guapo, hermoso, gordo, delgado, fuerte, débil, viejo, alegre, and nervioso. For example, fuerte, we can say that Juan es fuerte, meaning he's a strong person, or Juan está fuerte, kind of emphasizing that it's like his current condition, maybe because he's been hitting the gym a lot. And then a special case would be aburrido. Estar aburrido means being bored, while ser aburrido means being boring. The thing about this is that there is no specific or logical rule that tells us which adjectives can work with both ser and estar. We just pick this up through immersion, and basically through usage and through learning like with every adjective whether it can be used this way or not. But in general, for defining traits of things or people, we'll use ser, and for conditions or for a status or a state, we'll use estar. And then for location, as a separate category, we'll always use estar. Okay, so let's take a look at the homework. Number 1, translate. And it says, remember, we must use the article for generic nouns. Los profesores trabajan mucho, los pilotos son altos, etc. When we have a generic noun in the subject position in Spanish, we have to use the article. When we say cats are funny, like cats in general, with that connotation of in general, in Spanish we'll use the article. Los gatos son divertidos. So lawyers work a lot and earn a lot of money. Los abogados trabajan mucho y ganan mucho dinero. Firefighters and police officers are tall and strong. Los bomberos y los policías son altos y fuertes. My cousin is a salesperson at a store. Mi primo es dependiente en una tienda. And we don't say mi primo es un dependiente. We say mi primo es dependiente. No indefinite article. Just mi primo es dependiente. My sister is a student. Same thing, no indefinite article. Mi hermana es estudiante. Engineers and judges work at an office sometimes. Los ingenieros y los jueces trabajan en una oficina a veces. Accountants are very busy. Los contables están muy ocupados. Being busy is a status or a condition. I am a psychologist and my wife is an economist. Soy psicólogo, no soy un psicólogo, soy psicólogo y mi esposa es economista, no una economista. Mi esposa es economista. Alicia Keys is my favorite singer, she sings very well. Alicia Keys es mi cantante favorita. Ella canta muy bien. My friend is a waiter at a restaurant. Mi amigo es camarero en un restaurante. Who is your favorite actor and why? ¿Quién es tu actor favorito y por qué? Alicia is a journalist at the New York Times. Alicia es periodista en el New York Times. Politicians talk a lot. We have to use the article at the beginning. Los políticos hablan mucho. Is she a professor at Columbia University? ¿Es ella profesora en Columbia University? My father is a taxi driver in Bogotá. Mi padre es taxista en Bogotá. James is a nurse and his wife Nora is a doctor. James es enfermero, no un enfermero. James es enfermero y su esposa Nora es doctora. Receptionists at my office are always very happy. Los recepcionistas en mi oficina son or están. I would use están because we are kind of implying that it's a state. Están siempre muy felices. My dog Milou loves his vet. Mi perro Milou ama a su veterinario, with the personal A. Ama a su veterinario. Is she a pilot, a model, an architect, or a scientist? ¿Es ella o ella es piloto, modelo, arquitecto o científica? Salvador Dalí is my favorite painter from Spain and Frida Kahlo is my favorite painter from Mexico. Salvador Dalí es mi pintor favorito de España y Frida Kahlo es mi pintora favorita de México. Your friend Peter is a chef at a restaurant in Brooklyn. Tu amigo Peter es cocinero o chef en un restaurante en Brooklyn. In the US, mailmen work on Saturdays. En Estados Unidos o en los Estados Unidos, los carteros with the los, trabajan los sábados. The psychiatrist and the secretary are from Lima. La psiquiatra y el secretario son de Lima. Being from a place, we use ser for that. And then her sister is a writer. Su hermana es escritora. Okay, here we have to write a short essay. We can choose your brother, you can choose your brother, your sister, your best friend, or your significant other, and tell us everything about him or about her. Where does he or she live? What does he or she do? Physical characteristics, etc. So let me try to improvise this. Let's see, my brother, mi hermano. Mi hermano vive en Estados Unidos. Él es alto y fuerte porque él va mucho al gimnasio. Mi hermano es muy simpático y mi hermano es rico porque él trabaja en finanzas. A mi hermano los domingos siempre está muy aburrido porque no trabaja y no tiene una esposa, no tiene hijos, entonces está aburrido. Okay, that was it. Can you try to improvise a similar one? Número 3, number 3, translate. I am very nervous. Estoy muy nervioso. We use estar for nervioso. Juan is very happy. Juan está muy feliz. And in this one we could also say Juan es muy feliz and it would have a slightly different meaning. Pedro is always polite. Pedro siempre es educado. Being polite is a defining characteristic. Madrid is in Spain. It's a permanent location, but still a location, so Madrid está en España. My cousin is from Korea. Being from somewhere is a defining characteristic. We use ser for that. Mi primo es de Corea. My sister is in Korea. Mi hermana está en Corea. This is a location. I am a lawyer. Soy abogado. I am very worried. Worried, being worried is a status or a state. Estoy muy preocupado. Juan's eyes are blue. Los ojos de Juan son azules. Maria's hair is long. El pelo de María es largo. Maria has long hair. María tiene pelo largo or María tiene el pelo largo, with or without the article. Número 4, number 4, fill in the blanks using ser or estar. Enojado, angry. This is a state. Yo estoy enojado. Being in Madrid is a location. Tú estás en Madrid. Being bald, we use ser. Mi abuelo es calvo. Being pregnant, we didn't have this one in the examples, but I would say this is a state. So, su hermana está embarazada. Being a nurse is not enferma for sick, it's enfermera, the profession. Ella es enfermera. Los economistas son inteligentes. Being rich, that's a defining characteristic. Ana es muy rica. Being in Washington, that's a location. Usted está en Washington. The White House is in Washington. Location, la Casa Blanca está en Washington. You plural are from Korea. Ustedes son de Corea. They are doctors. Ellas son doctoras. I am very tired on Fridays. This is a state. Yo estoy muy cansado los viernes. Okay, número 5, 5, fill in the blanks, and porque means because. So, los lunes yo estoy muy cansado porque yo trabajo mucho, for example. Los martes yo estoy muy preocupado porque, pues no sé, porque tengo mucho estrés en el trabajo. Los miércoles yo estoy muy feliz porque los miércoles yo voy al gimnasio. Los jueves yo estoy muy cansado porque los miércoles voy al gimnasio. Los viernes yo estoy muy relajado porque es fin de semana. Los sábados yo estoy muy feliz porque yo no trabajo. Y los domingos yo estoy muy cansado otra vez porque los sábados salgo a restaurantes y a clubs. And then this one, yo soy muy simpático y muy educado y un poco inteligente. And then it just says write a conversation using the present tense. You can do this on your own. But let me try to improvise one. Hola Juan, ¿cómo estás? Hola Pedro, estoy muy bien, ¿tú cómo estás? Oh, muy bien, gracias. Juan, ¿dónde trabajas? Yo trabajo en Wall Street, en un banco. Oh, muy bien. ¿Y dónde vives? Yo vivo en Brooklyn. ¿Tú dónde vives? Yo vivo en Queens. Oh, muy bien. Sí, muy bien.